Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be discussing Dalton's law of partial pressure. It is a part of chapter States of Matter, class 11. Let's take example to understand this. Suppose we take a container. Okay, this is a container whose volume is V and the temperature at which it is maintained is say T. Right? Now in this, suppose we have taken two gases. We have taken hydrogen and oxygen. The condition for this law is that the gases which we have taken should be non-reacting. Hydrogen and oxygen are non-reacting gases. They will react only at one particular temperature, at very high temperature, or when electric spark is there, then only they will react. Otherwise, hydrogen, oxygen, they are non-reacting gases. So if we take some non-reacting gases, it can be any other gas also. So if we are taking some non-reacting gases, these gases will exert their own pressure. What is pressure? We have discussed in the previous videos. The force with which these gases collide on, or they exert the, force with which they collide on the walls of the container per unit area. Force per unit area. That is pressure. So the total pressure, according to this law, the total pressure exerted by mixture of the gases. In this present case, we have two gases. So the total pressure is equal to the partial pressure of hydrogen plus partial pressure of oxygen. Now, partial pressure means, suppose we are taking only hydrogen in a container. If we are taking only hydrogen in the container, not oxygen, the volume is same, V, temperature is T. What will be the pressure exerted by this hydrogen? Okay, that, will be the same even though you are taking along with oxygen. Means, even if you are taking two gases, this gas will be independently, as if there is no other gas present, as if oxygen is not there. Okay, so we will be, ignoring it in a way. That is why it is said Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, so this we are ignoring. Whatever is the pressure exerted by this hydrogen, that plus when we are talking about oxygen, we will be ignoring hydrogen. Means this will behave as if oxygen is not there in the container. Oxygen will behave as if this is not there in the container. This is alone in the whole container, occupying the whole volume. Right? So the partial pressure of both the gases, sum is equal to the total pressure. Okay. Suppose there are some more gases. Say there are three gases. Gas say 1, 2, 3. And their partial pressures are P1, P2, P3. Again, the condition is that they should not be reacting. Then the total pressure is given by the formula. Total pressure is P1 plus P2 plus P3. Provided the temperature remains same. What are these partial pressures? Partial pressures are the pressure exerted by the gas. When it is alone or it is taken with some other gas, that remains the same. Right? So, irrespective of the other gas, their pressure alone or in a mixture, that is the same. So, the partial pressure of one gas plus second gas plus third gas, sum of it is the total pressure. So, we will write down like this. This is Dalton's law of the partial pressure. Now, we have taken a mixture. How do we calculate the partial pressures? How the partial pressure of hydrogen or oxygen is calculated here? Now for that, let's talk about the ideal gas equation. We have the equation PV is equal to nRT. This is ideal gas equation. Okay. Now first let us talk about hydrogen. Okay, let us talk about the hydrogen gas. So the partial pressure of hydrogen will be equal to, let us see, I'm just using this PV is equal to nRT. So partial pressure of hydrogen will be equal to N. N means the number of moles of hydrogen, because I am calculating the partial pressure of hydrogen now, number of moles of hydrogen. R is constant, temperature is constant, divided by the volume of the container. So P is equal to nRT by V. So this is what the partial pressure can be calculated as. If we know the number of moles of hydrogen, we can calculate the partial pressure of hydrogen. Likewise, if we want to calculate the partial pressure of oxygen, we will have partial pressure of oxygen as equal to number of moles of oxygen, R universal gas constant, T temperature divided by volume of the container. In a way, we just want, the number of the moles of the gases. We will be able to calculate their partial pressures. Now, as we said, the total pressure is the sum of the two. We can also write like this: P total is equal to partial pressure of hydrogen plus partial pressure of oxygen. Let us put these values over here. So what you will have here is NH2 RT by V plus you have NO2 RT by V. So we can take RT by V common. We can remove it. We can bring it outside, RT by V. And then you have here N1 plus N2. N1 plus N2, in a way we can write NH2 NO2. Number of moles of oxygen plus hydrogen, that's sum. RT by V, this is the total pressure of the mixture of the gas. In our case, oxygen and hydrogen. Is this point clear? So what we have calculated, the partial pressure of hydrogen is like this. This is the partial pressure of oxygen. And if we are asked to calculate the total, we can either just sum up the number of the moles of the gases, whatever gases are available, and there sum we can find out, and RT by V. So I hope you have followed till here. Now let's move on to the another formula which we'll be requiring in this chapter. Now let me write down that here. Now just see. Suppose now I am taking the gases at 1 and 2 only, because we will be using any other gas also, right? So total pressure PT is equal to P1 plus P2, right? Partial pressure of one gas, partial pressure of another gas, the sum is the total pressure, right? So we also wrote those formulas which I am writing here again. We wrote P1 as equal to what? Number of mole of 1 R T by V. What will be P2 equal to? We can write P2 as equal to N2 R T by V. That is for the second gas. We can write down the total. The total pressure as equal to N1 plus N2 RT by V. It is the same thing, but instead of writing hydrogen and oxygen, now I have written number of moles, say 1, 2, partial pressures, P1, P2, like that. Now let this be equation 1 and this be equation 2 and this be the equation 3. Right? Now, suppose we now divide this equation 1 by the third equation. If we divide like this, now what we will get? What is P1? The first equation is this. So I'm just writing the whole equation here. The first equation is P1 is equal to N1 R T by V. This is the first equation. Divided by the second equation. By the third equation. Third equation. So third equation is P total. This is P total. And when I'm dividing here, this RT, this will be in the denominator. N1 plus N2 will be in the denominator. Right? It will be here RT. And then V will go in the numerator. So we can cancel out certain things. What all we can cancel out? We can cancel RT by RT. We can cancel out this volume also. So what are we getting? We are getting P1 by P total. It is equal to N1 by N1 plus N2. Now what is this N1 plus N1 divided by N1 plus N2? Number of mole of 1 by sum of number of mole. This thing can also be written as the mole fraction. Mole fraction of first. So we can write this also as the mole fraction of 1. So we got one formula just now, that is partial pressure of the first gas is equal to the total pressure multiplied by the mole fraction of the first gas. Right? So this is an important formula which we will require for numericals. Likewise, now what I do is I am now dividing second equation by the third equation. Right? So it is second equation now divided by the third equation. Right? So I am writing here because of the space. So what is second equation? This one. Second equation is P2. P2 is equal to N2 RT by V. Divided by third equation, this one. So P total here into this is N1 plus N2 RT and V will go in the numerator. So again, what all we can cancel out? RT by RT, V by V we can cancel out. So what are we left over with? We are left over with P2 is equal to P total is equal, P2 divided by P total is equal to N2 by N1 plus N2. Now what is this? This is the mole fraction of the second gas. That is the mole fraction of the second gas. So again we got a formula similar to this. So now what are we writing? We will write like that P2 is equal to P total multiplied by the mole fraction of the second gas. In a way, we can generalize like that. The partial pressure of any gas is equal to the total pressure multiplied by the mole fraction of the gas. We can say more the number of moles of one particular gas, obviously mole fraction will be more. More the mole fraction, more will be its partial pressure. So the partial pressure of any gas is dependent upon its mole fraction or its number of moles. Yeah, now another important thing. This type of figure, you will find sometimes the question is given like the gas is prepared by downward displacement of water. Some gas is collected in a container, in fact, by the downward displacement of water. Now what exactly? Some reaction is going on in the container here and the gas is collected here. This is water. In this container there is water and whatever reaction is going on here, the gas is coming here, passing through this water and getting collected in this. In this jar there is water actually and it is inverted over this. So when it is inverted, the gas bubbles will go up and the gas will get collected in this container. So when the gas is getting collected here in this container, this will have the pressure of the gas plus it will have the pressure of water vapor, because water vapor is also, because it is passing through water and going up. So what we will be measuring is the pressure of moist gas we will be measuring. We will not be able to measure in this the pressure of the dry gas, because whatever reaction is going on in the container, that part I have not drawn, just one part I have drawn here. So the gas is formed, it is getting collected here. So by downward displacement of water means the gas will pass through this water and it will go up and get collected in the jar over here. So in this jar, what pressure you are going to measure? That will be the pressure of the moist gas. It includes the pressure of the dry gas plus the pressure of the water vapor. So then how are we going to calculate the pressure of the dry gas? We will apply Dalton's law of partial pressure. This is one of the application of Dalton's law of partial pressure. It says the pressure of the moist gas, is equal to the pressure of dry gas plus the pressure of water vapor. So if you want to calculate the pressure of the dry gas from the moist gas, you will have to subtract the pressure of the water. So how this is calculated here? At the same temperature, the pressure of the water can be calculated and seen. The pressure of the water vapor is also referred to as aqueous tension. You will come across such questions where aqueous tension is given at say 30 degree, 40 degree, 25 degree. Of course, aqueous tension will definitely depend upon the temperature, because more the temperature, more will be the pressure exerted by the vapors. Okay, so this is dependent. So you will be calculating the pressure of a dry gas as equal to moist gas minus that of water vapor. Now let's do the numerical based on Dalton's law of partial pressure. The question says that suppose 250 ml nitrogen has this much pressure. Okay, this is the volume of nitrogen and this exerts a pressure of 720 millimeter. Oxygen 380 ml oxygen is exerting this much pressure. Now they both are put in a container which is of 1 liter. 1 liter container now both are transferred. They are telling you the temperature is constant. Calculate the total pressure exerted by the mixture of the gas. Whenever they do not specify, you have to assume that the gases are not reacting. Okay, the gases are not reacting. Now, how to solve it? They are saying this is the pressure of nitrogen at this volume. You first think, can we take this itself as the partial pressure in it? Or this pressure as the partial pressure of oxygen? In the present question, no. Because volume was 250, then the pressure was it. When it is 1 liter, definitely the pressure will not be the same. The volume now has become 4 times. The pressure has to reduce. So individually we will be calculating, we will be using Boyle's law. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. This is for the nitrogen part, and this side I'll be calculating P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 for oxygen. P2 V2 for oxygen. Okay. So what is P1 V1? Pressure initial is 720 at this much volume. It's 250 volume. What is the pressure now when the volume is 1000 ml? Let us convert this also in ml because the units should be same. Let us calculate this pressure first. It is P2. This P2 we have to calculate, right? Now when you solve this, it comes out to be P2 is equal to 720 into 250 divided by 1000. Okay, so when you solve it, you will get it as 180 millimeter. Because volume became 4 times, this will reduce to 1 by 4. Now let us calculate the partial pressure of oxygen also now. So pressure is 650 when the volume is 380. And what will be the pressure when the volume is 1000 ml? Right. So we will now calculate the partial pressure of this oxygen. The partial pressure of this oxygen comes out to be 650 into 380 divided by 1000. Right. So when you solve this part, you will get it as 247 millimeter. You will get it as 247 millimeter. Fine. Yeah, moving on to the next question. It says this much ml nitrogen at 27 degrees Celsius exerts this much pressure. What will be the volume of nitrogen at 0 degree and 760 millimeter? Given in the question, the aqueous tension of water. Aqueous tension, of course, that's of water. Aqueous tension or partial pressure of water is given at 27 degrees Celsius as this. That means this pressure is given at 27 degrees Celsius, not at this one. That means this pressure is the pressure of a moist gas. Okay, this be one condition, this you make it as another condition. So you have to use here equation of state P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Okay, what is our P1? This 746.5, you will have to subtract 26.5 because this is the pressure of water which is included in the pressure of the moist gas. You will have to subtract it from here. So when you subtract it, you will get it here as 720, right? You will subtract 720. What is the volume? 38 divided by what is the temperature here given? 27. You will add 273, convert into Kelvin. What is the pressure at the second condition? 60. The volume we do not know. We need to calculate. 0 degrees Celsius you will convert as 273. and you will solve this as the volume V2. That comes out to be 32.76 ml. Fine. Yeah, moving on to the next question. It says equal masses of hydrogen and methane. They are taken in a container. Volume V, temperature is say T. What fraction of the total pressure is exerted by hydrogen? Or it can be even asked for, say, methane. What fraction of the total pressure is exerted by each of the gas? Right. Now, equal mass, hydrogen and methane. Let us assume here the mass as say 1 gram. 1 gram of this, 1 gram of this. I have taken equal masses. Right. So, equal masses, we will be first calculating the number of moles. Number of mole of hydrogen, that will be equal to 1 by 2. Number of mole of methane, that will be equal to 1 by 16. You will calculate the number of moles. We have done one formula in between, which I told you. Partial pressure of any gas, let it be say hydrogen, that will be equal to the total pressure, let it be P, into mole fraction of hydrogen. Right? Likewise, you can also calculate the partial pressure of another. So, what is the partial pressure of hydrogen equal to? P into, what is the mole fraction of hydrogen? It is 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 plus 1 by 16. 1 by 16. So, you will calculate the mole fraction. Moles of 1 divided by sum of both the moles. Okay, you can calculate the mole fraction of this hydrogen, and then you can also show the partial pressure of methane would be equal to the total pressure P minus the partial pressure of hydrogen. Is this clear? You can further solve this. You can take the LCM and solve here. You will get this as 8 by 9. 8 by 9 of the total pressure. The partial pressure of methane will be equal to 1 by 9 of the P. Got it? So, I hope you have followed whatever we have done in today's video. So, we'll continue further with states of matter in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.